Laynie Locke.
Yes.
With Lips and Sticks Welding here at FABTECH 2025 in Chicago. We are across the aisle neighbors, and I saw your female welder sign, so I thought you would be an amazing contribution to the women in the trades discussion that we're having, kind of doing this series on our podcast. So why don't you tell me a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Sure. Okay, so I own a welding company, but the reason I started the welding company, I was in welding school as a student, and I couldn't find any stickers that I thought were funny enough or spicy enough or girly enough for my hood. I was in marketing for 15 years before I became a welder. And so I'm like, I'm gonna make some. Well, everybody loved them. And so that kind of started my business. And then I branched into clothing and metal art, and then continued on to that. My goal is to be able to do funeral flowers next for grave sites, for memorials, and people that don't get to visit their graves very often. I want to be able to cement metal flowers into their graves. The family can choose the bouquet and whatever is important to them, like flags or a motorcycle thing. Something's important to them.
The flowers never die. They never will. Yeah. Wow. That's
forever
super
flowers.
Cool.
And I want them to be able to have something nice at their grave, even if their family can't be there, and they're safe, and it always looks pretty with a light in it. So that's my next goal, to be able to offer that to families. I love metal art. It's my favorite thing in the world.
Okay, so you said you started off in marketing. You were telling me a little bit about that yesterday, that you were doing that for a welding school at one point. So tell me a little bit about like your background. Where was that transition between the marketing and then right into welding?
Sure. So I worked at a technical college in my town, and the gentleman in that program, all of the programs in there, we had 35 programs. So I was in charge of all of the men for all the programs, mostly men. It was all men. But they were my brothers and dads I never had and family members. So we got really close. So I was in an auto shop in a day. Like, the people from the marketing team never, like, I think it's important to get to know the people that you're working with and be in the shop, in the trenches with them, not just come out from the office and say, hi, I need all these things moved for my event in your shop. So I got to know the men. I was in there with the tools, learning what they did in their programs, and it made such a difference. So we were doing a welding event for the school, and they were like, you should just come try this. Women, and then they said, women make wonderful welders. And they said, we'll take women all day. We need more in the trades. And I was like, okay, let's try this.
Yeah.
I literally put the hood down and hit my first arc, and it was love at first strike.
It was like exhilarating.
So much. It was the most powerful feeling to hold that fire and to know that I controlled it.
That's amazing.
And that you could do anything with that fire and literally build anything you wanted.
Yeah.
There's so much power in creating things with your own hands. I can't even explain. I, growing up, was the son my dad never had. My dad was very country, and my mom was a fashion major. So I got good by both.
Yeah, of course.
But we spent so much time woodworking and working out in the shop. He never welded. The rest of my family welds. My uncle welds, my grandfather welds. They all have welding shops. But I had never welded, and he didn't weld. Yeah. Because we did woodworking. And so I started to take a night class after I fell in love with welding for woodworking. We had a short amount of time, like 3-month class for that. So I learned that.
While you were still working your marketing job at the same time?
Yes.
Okay.
And then so I took night classes in that, and I was like, well, woodworking's fun. I know how to do that. And then I took a night class in welding, and I ended up taking it like 3 years back to back, just in the evening. And they're like, why don't you just do the program? Yeah. So I quit my entire life of marketing and my desk job and all the things, and literally put my hood on and went to welding school.
That is incredible. That's amazing.
Thank you.
So right from the jump, where did you find yourself then? Did you immediately jump into Lips and Sticks? Did you start that business for yourself, or were you working for a different company doing welding and then you kind of transitioned into your own company?
So in order to still kind of make my schedule work, because I was in school 8 hours a day, welding 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
It was a full shift. Like we do kind of shift work there. So I we were kind of visiting one day on the back porch with my grandma and my aunt, and they are one of my biggest supporters. And so we started talking about the stickers and like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? So the ideas just started to flow. But I wanted to be able to have a way to like get in front of people in an easy, fun, happy way, but to show that women welders are important. We're here to support you. And then anyway, I love it. So it kind of started with the stickers, and then it was like, oh, okay, women empowerment in a nice way. I'm not, you can be powerful in yourself and strong in what you know and who you are without being too much in a work situation. So the feminine side of the stickers were really fun, and the bright colors, and anyway, so that kind of came out of that, and then it just kind of kept growing. So anyway. And
that brought you here today, obviously.
Yes. So,
like
so the stickers brought me to Bocomal, who I rep for now as a clothing rep.
Okay.
And I absolutely love that. And to be able to meet the women welders that are my absolute heroes, and the reason I'm literally welding, Ray Ripple is my absolute all-time hero, and I got to meet her for the first time last year. And it's so nice. It's a small group, and we know each other so well, all of us now.
That's amazing. Yeah, I've had the pleasure of getting to talk to a couple of them. I spoke with Demi Knight Clark yesterday, so we had a fantastic conversation on just her go-to line is put more blowtorches in women's hands or girls' hands, which I loved. I just thought that was like, I'm like, that right there. It's such like a simple statement, but at the same time, I'm like, that means so much, I feel like.
Yes, and I'm so grateful that I was raised by a dad that taught me to run with the boys. But he always said, like, my daughter will compete like higher, harder, faster than, any man in the shop. So put her in there and she can perform.
Which is great to have that background and that upbringing, because then that definitely led you, I feel like, more to a place of not being threatened by entering a more male-dominated field and just saying, like, I can do this too, and I can support you while also being super proud of myself for doing something that not a lot of other women are doing too. And being an advocate, it sounds like, for other women.
And I wanted to create a safe space for girls, and I have a lot of moms actually reach out to me on social media and say, my daughter's starting the program. Like, what do I have her wear? Like, what shoes? Like, I wanted it to be a nice, safe place to ask questions, because I was kind of going through the same thing too. Like, I was new in school. I was figuring things out. I'm so grateful for my instructors that were so kind and made it such a safe, nice space. And a lot of shops are doing that so much more, hiring women instructors. It's just so nice to see more of in this culture.
Well, and that's just such a testament too, because you would really hope that, I mean, that could really make it or break it. That school setting is right where you start off. So if you had just not as welcoming of as an environment or people that kind of put down women being in those trades, that's I mean, that's where it all starts. And my conversation with Demi yesterday, she was talking about how it's starting all the way as early middle school with so many, and it's actually so much more about treating everybody across the board as equal, the girls and the boys, and not just like singling out the girls for being the only, they're like, oh, you're the only girl here, and just being like, we're all here doing this together, and just making it more normal. Like, it's everyone can do this really cool trade together, and we don't have to be like, oh, you're going to get singled out now because you're the only woman in this costume. And just making it this very even, like, we have to start talking differently about the trades to younger generations too.
Yes, and get them excited sooner.
Yes.
I saw that from a trade school side on both sides. So we would bring in the 8th graders. I'm like, that's too late.
So that's what she was saying. She goes,
too late.
She started a camp that she was doing with kids as young as 6.
I want to do that next. That's my next goal.
So that even brings me to, you have a sign up over there that I'll have to include a picture, but it says female welder 5%. So tell me a little bit about what that means to you, or what that 5% is.
So 5% nationally right now is the number of women welders in the entire country. Only 5%. So it's a big deal to be a part of that. And I want them to get excited about that and be proud of that. And so I come from a motorcycle family. And so with the design, it was kind of an idea of like a patch.
It looks
from a
that's
club.
immediately what I thought of with the arched kind of letters.
Exactly.
Yeah, it looks exactly like that.
So I wanted them to have like this like warrior, like I am the 5%, and I have t-shirts, and like I've been stopped so many times wearing it and like, oh, like you're a welder, like that's so neat.
Cool, yeah.
And I love to see that when my instructors were like, you're a welder, stand up and act like it.
That's all.
I want them to feel that pride, because it's such a small, crazy group. Because when I started in my class, there were 7 women. By the time I finished in it's a 6-month program. I took a little longer, about 8 months to take my time and finish. There was 2 of us.
Wow.
Yes.
Why do you think that was? Is that strictly just it was something that wasn't for them as much, or was it the program that truly weeds people out, just kind of like in school?
Naturally, I think it is the hardest. I have 3 college degrees.
Yeah.
And that was the hardest program I have ever been through in my life, because it was completely different than a normal college in the classroom at a desk. The hardest, most incredible experience I've ever had in my entire life, and I would not change it for anything. Yeah. Like looking out that little window literally saved my life.
Yeah. Oh, so, that's amazing. I love that.
Yeah, but it is not for the weak.
Not easy. And would you say that's just a mixture of, and anyone listening that has been through it obviously knows what you're talking about, but is that just a mixture of the time commitment, the manual labor, the physical,
yes,
and also it's probably mentally and just emotionally draining. Yeah.
I learned so much about my mental game and my mental toughness in there, and it taught me more about myself and how I really work in the hardest situations that I've ever been in. When you're frustrated, when you're tired, when you're on fire, when you're literally on fire and you don't want to stop because you are on that test plate and it is beautiful and you are losing and scarring yourself.
Has that happened to you?
Yes, I'm covered in scars.
Oh my God.
Covered.
That is insane.
That's my next thing. Like I'm excited that we're moving toward clothing for women that is safety minded.
So have you guys run into that, being in the industry and being a female in the industry, that the apparel and clothing side of it and the PPE is not as present, that it's usually only for men?
It is not there. I'm wearing men's clothes every day.
Wow.
Yes.
So is that what the company that you're currently representing over there, is that what you guys work on as well? Is it PPE or is it like
it's all
attire?
PPE. No, all PPE, and they're moving toward a women's line, and that's why I'm here, and that's why they brought me on. And it's that I love that. I wore this clothing line before I was even a rep for them, and I love it. And so we're gonna have a women's line that's adapted for women with extra things like buttons, darts, so it fits, because I deserve to go to work safe and not hurt. Just because I chose to work in a man's field, it does not mean I need to have bad clothes.
Something as simple as like, I want to wear something that fits me. I don't want to just have to like put on this clunky. Just because that's the only thing that was off. Yes,
and it's not safe. At the end of the day, if a girl gets caught in a machine, or her she gets,
because it's so baggy and
too
stuff.
big. So
I've never
anyway,
even thought about that.
So it's just things. People get weeded out in the program easily. And a lot of men dropped out too. It's a very small percent that actually can graduate and get through it.
So that kind of even transitions into women in the trades and women in welding as well. How would you say your experience has been, and how, it sounds like you're doing a lot, but how are you advocating for women in the trades?
Every day, all day long.
It sounds like every single day.
Through everything I could do, social media, I would stand on the street corner and with a megaphone and tell them to send them to the trade schools first. We used to teach our kids at the technical college level to get a skill, work in high school or something, get through that program, and then we would teach them. So if you get through the welding program in high school and you want to be an engineer, then you work your way through a 4-year university as a welder in no debt, and you become an engineer, which makes you a better engineer because you have the experience as a welder first. Because you can read the blueprints. Every welder in your shop will thank you if you have that double thing, which we see a lot.
That's amazing.
I would love to bring every girl and visit with her and just make sure she's okay and happy and that she loves it, because you have to love it and you have to want it more than anything that you ever wanted in your entire life.
Absolutely. And I feel like one thing I've noticed a lot now that I just seem to be following a lot of the female influential and like women in the industry. Yeah. And I love the kind of intersection between these technical skills, the creativity and the artistic side, and also still being able to remain feminine as well. Like you don't have to fit into this masculine, just because you're in a masculine role or like a, you know, very male dominated area, you can still have the pink stickers if you want, if that's what you like. Like you also don't have to do that either. But I love seeing like you and Ray and Demi and just like having all this amazing jewelry and like these awesome stickers, while also being like, I am a woman in the trades, and like I can be feminine while also being a badass and doing something that men are doing too, but be just as good as them, if not better.
Yeah, put your boots on and kick their ass.
Yes, that's awesome.
Kick ass every day.
What's your plan for FABTECH? What have you been seeing here, if you've gotten a chance to even really explore? Have you guys seen anything new tech in welding that you guys have kind of had conversations about or anything?
I haven't made it around a ton, but the personal connections that we've been making have been absolutely incredible. And for me, it's the metal artists that I'm getting to meet, because that's my real bread and butter. My favorite thing in the world is so especially as a designer, to get to draw with fire and draw the shapes and the pattern. Anyway, so for me, the metal artists that we've been able to meet has been so fun for me. So that's my favorite. So I would say that.
You said you're working on the Forever Flowers. So what is with Lips and Sticks? What's kind of your next steps, and what are your goals for the future?
Oh, so many things. My top goal is to be able to provide PPE internationally for women that don't have it. I see so many women that we're doing all the same things, and they're like in flip-flops and no hood, just holding the lens up while they weld. I grew up, my family had a humanitarian aid foundation my whole life, and so we traveled all over the world as a team, providing aid to women and children all over the world. And so
that is incredible. I just got like goosebumps.
Thank you.
Wow.
It was a really humbling way to grow up, and I am so grateful for what we are blessed with. But seeing that, I want to offer PPE not just for women, but for men as well. But internationally. So my next goal is to keep doing the metal art. I really, really want to do classes for women, and we opened a metal art program at my college, because my teacher would like bribe me, like, okay, do a test play, we can make a rose at the end. You can do something fun like art. Because all I wanted to do was art. So anyway.
That's even what we were talking about yesterday is Demi was saying in the schools, it can just be pretty. Obviously you have to have like a curriculum, you have to have a structure, but she wants to try to provide these kids in that camp that she's doing with like literally, what do you want to make? Let's do anything, which is cool, because it sounds like that's so many people are getting in and they're like, I just want to like create, but obviously you kind of have to walk before you run, so they do want you to do these more basic things that you're like, I don't want to just put two plates together. Like,
well, and the fun part about our art class, we have like a horseshoe night. So we bring in a whole box, a pallet of horseshoes, and then they can choose what they want to make, or we help them. But to have that creative option to make what you want out of absolutely nothing, and you can see that, I think teaches a whole different way of being smart. That a lot of people don't have anymore. So
just unlocking something in yourself that you didn't know was really there.
And I grew up like that. My mom would dump the pipe cleaners and the glitter and the popsicle sticks on the table. Make what you can create. And I've always loved that brain, that side of my brain. So
that's awesome. Well, for anyone listening, where can they find you on socials, or if you have a website, where can they find you?
I have all of them. Website, Etsy, socials, Instagram, TikTok, just Lips and Sticks Welding.
Perfect.
So, and
Well,
the polka dot hood.
yes. Okay. Perfect. Well, I'll have to put that on the video too. I can include all of that.
Okay.
But Laynie,
I would
it was
love that.
so great talking to you.
Thank you.
You've had such an amazing story, and I think
Aw.
a fantastic contribution to the Women in the Trades series. So thank you so much for joining
You're
us.
so welcome. Just remember to stay humble, stay hungry, and work really hard because it's worth
Yes.
it.
I love that. Thanks,
you.
Laynie.
You're so welcome.